on. Okay, this is recording. Oh my God, The Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16. I cannot believe we're here. First of all.
Yeah.
Like it's so crazy. But to introduce the actual show, hi guys, it's another episode of Reality Right After. I am your host, Wellington Gomez, and today I am joined by two special people. I feel like we're part of the same Twitter family. We're always seeing each other's comments about this show, what we think, what makes us gag, what we do not like. So I just thought it was perfect to have you guys join me on the podcast to talk about the new season of Atlanta. So first, hi Xavier.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Can't complain too much.
So excited that you're here. And of course, the Twitter queen herself, the Brooke Ashley is here.
Yes.
Hi.
Hey, how are you guys?
So excited to talk to you guys about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. So make sure you are subscribed. Follow everybody here. Hold on. Let me just take this. Perfect. So yeah,
Nice.
before we get into the episode, I wanted to talk to you guys about some Real Houses of Atlanta headlines that have been, flowing around. First of all, this drama with Kandi and Tamar.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have been seeing what's been going around. I think Kandi had the last laugh saying, honey, like, I'm not really worried about what clowns are doing, which kind of like hit Tamar in the neck. What do you guys think about this beef? Like, what all over because Tamar said what she said about Old Lady Gang. Xavier, any thoughts?
I think, well, first of all, Tamar is a stunt queen. So and that's no shade, but like she just is. I just think it's a lie, and I think that, Kandi is just out here trying to get her checks. She doesn't really bother anyone.
I agree.
So, I'm gonna have to Tamar, just you need to pay it. Just pay it. Candy's having a good time. She just did Othello. She's living her best life. So.
Come on. On Broadway, honey.
Okay.
And it was the highest grossing play.
Exactly.
Period. So. Brooke.
I think, Tamar needs to let this go. I think that Tamar, I hate to say it, Tamar is miserable. I think that Tamar has so much talent, but she's like her worst enemy. I think that she's a self-saboteur, and she just gets in her own way. Yeah, she gets in her own way because there's no reason for this. You've been going back and forth for what? And it's like a one-sided beef. Let it go.
I agree. And also, it's kind of like, why are we doing this for? Like, one thing that I don't understand sometimes with these celebrities is like, you're doing this for the Instagram feed to be on the Shade Room. Like, I don't get it because I can understand it. I understand when the housewives go at it. Honey, they're trying to come back for another season. They're trying to build drama. But when these girls do it and y'all not even filming anything, we're doing this for free. Like, please. Let's not. And I think that's really what Kandi doesn't like to get into because she's like, honey, I need to be getting a paycheck to argue with people.
Right.
So I'm not going to do it with you.
And I don't blame her.
I don't blame her either. I really don't, because after you worked so hard for, what you have going on, why bring it down with, anyways, moving on. Have you guys heard Drew's new album?
I haven't. I haven't.
So
no, I didn't be like, bro. The sips on me.
Drew's like, hold on.
I had to put that church finger up, the little church finger. It's no shade. Shout out to Drew. She sounded good in the studio in the latest episode.
She sounded good. She had a nice little like R&B, got that, a little sultry. I was like, okay, Drew, I hear you in the studio. I just don't know if that's, what I'm gonna say, because I just love music. I'm gonna give it an honest try. I'm gonna just listen to a couple of songs and see what it's giving.
That's fair.
I don't think it's for me, but we'll see. We'll see.
In the last episode, I had our Atlanta correspondent Sojourner and my friend Janelle from Twitter as well, and we were talking about this, and I was telling them, listen, I think that my issue with some of the housewives that are doing this like R&B career is that they're not doing it the way that R&B is popular now. They're trying to bring that. I don't know if they're even trying to wake it up, but they're coming into the music industry with this old school R&B vibe that it's really hard to sell in today's market.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
And I think that some of these songs are great, but it's really hard to sell that type of R&B in today's market when you have SZAs and Summer Walkers that are doing a different sound.
Yeah.
That's more popular.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying that Drew should be focusing acting. I think Drew could land a good Netflix limited series that really puts her on the map.
Yes.
I'm going to advocate for this. Drew, if you're listening, please, because I'm telling you, you need to pivot. You already have the listings in the acting world. So that's where I see it for her. I don't know.
I agree. I think that she should apply for season 2 of Beauty and the Black with Tyler Perry.
Okay.
Yes.
Right?
No shade. No shade.
Yeah.
I listen. I think I see that too. No shade. Okay, anyways, let's get into the new season. So episode 3. First of all, overall thoughts. Are we liking the season?
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. I'm very much like back in the mix. Like I'm like, okay, I am tuning in every Sunday.
Right.
I want to see what the girls are going to give. I mean, you know what? Even today on Twitter, I was talking about like just some of the new girls and things like that. And I know some people have like a lot of like mixed feelings about. I like them.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's only been 3 episodes so far, and like we should give them a little time.
Thank you.
Settle. Like everybody is not gonna. Well, some of the girls do hit it out the park on their first season.
Some do. Some do.
Those who can will. So we'll see.
Right. Ooh.
Oh, that was good.
That's true. That's very true. No, but listen, I think that for what it is, it's the best that they could have given us, and I am appreciative of that. At least we have some characters that are entertaining to watch. Kelli is funny as hell. Yeah. I think that that's why Porsha really kind of like let her guard down very early, because she said, wait, this is someone that I can actually like go back and forth with, and I think that she has that capacity. So I think that Porsha has already kind of like knighted her, like, okay, you are approved to be around. Angela is quick. We're going to get into her little situation with Shamea. Yeah. So we can see that she also has some fire in her. And Brit, we already know about Brit. So talking about Brit, the episode opens up with Brit talking about her past dating history. She says that I've been with the flashy ones, the ones who stunt, rappers, basketball players, you name it. But now she's found someone different in Mike, calling him reserved, understated, husband material. Do you see the love between Brit and Matt? And Mike, sorry.
I don't.
You don't?
Well, I'll say this. I think that maybe he's a bit shy in front of the camera. I don't see that chemistry.
First season jitters.
Yeah, the first episode when they were in the closet getting ready for Shamea's birthday, I thought that was her assistant. It didn't look like husband and wife. That's not me being shady, or I'm not trying to be funny, but I got that vibe. I didn't get husband and wife.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an interesting dynamic. I do agree with Brooke. Like it doesn't give like your usual, type of feeling, but also like people have their own thing going on. He does seem a little bit more shy. He like even like what she said, like understated, reserved, like that's exactly what he gives. I saw a little bit of his personality kind of like creeping out in this most recent episode with like he was trying to make a little joke when he came down the stairs. I
just feel like my only thing is so interesting to me sometimes how like these house husbands don't come on and like show love. Like one thing that I liked about Ross, Sanya's husband, is that he loved that woman.
And did.
And he showed that. And I think that why not show that? Like why not target that part of your relationship because we want to see that more on television. Anyways. During a family dinner with her in-laws, Brit names dropped Rick Ross saying that, yeah, I dated him. What about it? So the girls, I don't know what this does to the girls. Like, they're just bringing up, like, yeah, I dated. It's very wags to riches.
Yes.
She's saying that keeping her stance on Kenya, I'm cool with her as long as she keeps it cute. So far, I mean, we already know what happens between Kenya and Brit later on, but things are starting to brew between the two.
Well, Brit's side, Brit's dragging this out, in my opinion. It wasn't that deep. The comment was, oh, are you engaged or are you married? I don't see a wedding band on your finger. That was it. For her to still be saying, you know, keep it cute, and she keeps bringing this up. I think that this is made up in Brit's mind. This is a one-sided beef that she has going on.
Yeah.
You know, she seems very eager to be in Kenya's presence because at the party later on, she's like, oh, you know, she's reaching for a hug for Kenya. I think that it's some weirdo stuff going on.
Well, that was a good point that you make about the party, because even when they go upstairs to talk further about the situation, you see scenes of Kenya talking to Brit about Porsha.
Yes.
So she's still willing to, you know, Kenya, she does not give you the time of day if she's not fucking with you.
Yes.
Right. And don't.
So if she's talking to you, sidebarring with you while there's something going on, she really don't got a problem with you. So it's kind of like, as of right now, what is it that you're like, what is it? Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, I think Brit definitely thought that maybe Kenya was being a little shady, a little funny or whatever, but like I think Brit just really is holding on to it, and she's not able. And, you know, I even hate I hate the phrase fun shade, but like sometimes people take a little jab at you, you get a jab them back, and then sometimes you just have to move on for the sake of your own sanity. Because like I'm not finna be going into every space and beefing with you over something like that,
right?
Unless I really want to take you there. Unless I'm just like, girl, we can go at it every time I see you is on site. But to me, it wasn't giving all that, especially like you said, like in the most recent episode, like they were like kikiing on the side, like if that energy is good, then let's just keep it moving.
I agree. The emotional moment comes when Brit confides in Mike's sister about her past struggles. She says, and I quote, when my dad passed in 2015, we had to start a GoFundMe just to pay for his funeral. I never wanted to be in that position again, and that's why I got into the insurance business. The drama, though, after selling her company, Brit's sisters turned on her. Her older sister accused her of being too controlling, and she had to fire her younger sister for getting too comfortable in the business. We already seeing she's teasing this intense family drama. I think something that makes a strong housewife is good personal story. So I don't really like, yes, if you can go at it with the girls is cool, but if you're bringing that personal story that's also carrying the show, I appreciate that. So let's see how far she goes into exploring family drama with her family and her sisters.
Yeah, I hope she goes a little bit deeper with that, because I have two sisters myself. We don't have no business together or anything, but I definitely related to like if I was on the outs with my sisters, I would be like that would be hurting me. So I appreciate her showing that light. I
agree. That's so crazy. I have two sisters too. Are you the middle child, or where are you?
I'm the oldest.
Oh, you're the oldest? I'm in the middle. So meanwhile, Mike wants a baby tomorrow, while Brit is more focused on having a ceremony tomorrow. Talk about different timelines. She wants a wedding. He wants a baby. Are you convinced by this, Brooke?
No, I'm not. In the last episode, when they mentioned the baby, remember he said allegedly. So now you want a baby tomorrow? But you said allegedly about the baby in the last episode. It's not, I don't know. I think that Brit is trying too hard. I want to give her a chance. But between her still forcing this beef between her and Kenya, that wasn't that big of a deal. And then knowing what's going to happen later on, I'm just kind of already annoyed with her. So I'm like, I'm trying to give her a fair shake. But there is something a bit try hard about her. She's doing too much.
I mean, listen, I've seen that sentiment across Twitter, so it is fair to say. Moving on to the next scene, and this was a scene that I kind of teased earlier. Porsha and Kelli get together to kind of discuss, because they also had a little rift in the premiere when Kelly just comes out and tells her, why do you take that lady's man? And I think that even though it's been like 4 years now with this situation, the girls have been waiting for Porsha to be asked this question on camera. It is what it is. I'm sorry. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they've been waiting.
Like,
I don't blame them.
Listen.
Porsha's my girl. I love me some
Love
Porsha.
Porsha down.
I love you, Pete. I love Pete down, but why you say that lady man?
Right. And it's kind of like, I feel like it's kind of like that thing that it's like, when you do wrong, the only way that you can get back into the group is like, girl, we're going to address it.
Yeah.
And then we're going to let you go, but we're going to address it. We're going to address it. So Porsha links up with Kelly for drinks and goes straight in. Girl, I need a Heneesha, which was so hilarious. This is why I love Porsha. Like, the one-liners are coming back. She makes me laugh every time she's on camera. Kelly, known for her larger-than-life energy, gets called out by Porsha in her interview. Kelly is a beautiful woman, but she has a lot of personalities, and they all start to get really, really loud, and she doesn't know which personality it is that that she's getting that day. Kelly never wants to back down, fires back in her interview. I have different personalities, and she has different men. The girl is here to read. The tension comes when Porsha accuses Kelly of stirring the pot regarding her personal life, specifically when she questioned what's really going on with Porsha during the conversation with Brit and Shamea. Kelly defends herself and says it was simple question. Y'all are acting like I set this girl up to get jumped. Like, it was just a question. Like, I was not doing that much. Like, it is what it is. I asked, you answered. After some playful roasting, Porsha calling Kelly a troll, the two end on a light note. And Porsha kind of says, like, you're lucky I love you. So where do you see it with these two girls? Like, do you think that, I feel like they could be, like, no shade. They could be, like, freaking Frag type 2, like, a little bit. Because they kind of have, like, that big sister energy. What do you think, Brooke?
Yes. Well, I will say, I wish that production showed us more of the conversation. You could tell that a lot was chopped out. Because there's no way they came to that resolution so quickly.
Right. Well, actually, someone called out Porsha on Twitter about saying, like, I understand that you are kind of like past the situation, but as the viewers, as the audience, we saw what happened, and we at least deserve one explanation from you as to what happened in that whole Simon and Fallon situation. Like, let's address it and just say it. And then she responded to the viewer and said that her and Kelly had a 2-hour conversation, and that she's upset that it was cut the way it was cut because it kind of feeds into the narrative that she's kind of keeping things off, when in reality she had a 2-hour conversation with Kelly, where even Kelly opened up about her husband and the things that she's dealing with her husband. So maybe we are not seeing that, but I think, like you said, that sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Drew versus Kenya and the Dennis drama. Drew is back in the recording booth again, creating the #1 album of the century. But the drama is in the lounge with Angela, Cynthia, and Kenya, who come over to kind of support Drew. Kenya, how are we feeling about the whole Kenya situation? And I mean, no confessional so far.
Very sad.
Yeah, I think you can tell something is like missing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have a love-hate relationship with Kenya, but shout out to Kenya more because she keeps the drama, she keeps things going.
She's definitely a veteran.
Yeah, for sure. And so just not hearing those, like, I think she's still doing a good job of us, like, getting, like, her saying what she's thinking, but like I miss those Kenya confessionals.
Yeah, no, there's something that's definitely missing. I think it's okay to say that, and yeah, it is that little flair of Kenya. However, Kenya never wants to tiptoe around mess. Asks Drew point blank, so where's Dennis? Because we're in the recording booth, and you're saying that Dennis is your executive producer. Where is Dennis? I want to speak to him. Drew was caught very off guard, denies having any contact with him, but Shady Editing says otherwise, and they cue the flashbacks of her talking to Dennis, and also saying they literally zoomed into her phone, and she has Dennis saved as Dennis bro. Mind you, she said she don't even have that number saved, child.
Exactly.
Drew, stop lying. Stop lying for 1
There we
second.
go.
For 1 second, girl. Like, production is like playing with you at this point. They're expecting you to lie so that they can cue a flashback.
Literally. And they did not skip a beat.
They did not skip a beat. Cynthia delivers a classic one-liner. A hoe is almost a compliment. A whore. Oh, that's horrible.
Cynthia Bailey.
When you guys heard that there could be a possibility that Drew and Dennis were a thing, like, you know, before she even denied it. Like, I'm like, are we really going there? Do you guys actually believe that?
No.
I feel like we couldn't go that low.
I mean, I'm not. So what I'm about to say, I do think it's a possibility, but not because I think that it might have happened like she did it out of spite or anything. I think that it could have genuinely just something could have just blossomed, something could have happened, and it just got into like a messy situation. And the fact that she's kind of like skirting around things and trying to downplay it makes people even believe it even more. So I'm like,
Right.
girl, Drew, I'm trying to what Monique said, she was like, my sister done burnt too many bridges and there's nothing I can do for her because she keep lying like this.
No,
It's
for
like,
real.
what can we say? But I hope it's all been platonic.
And, you know, Kenya sticks up for Porsha and she kind of like checks Drew and she says, listen, you should have had a conversation with Kenya prior to you doing anything with her man. Like, simple, point blank in the period. I don't know how to explain to you this further. You should have had a conversation with her.
Yes.
And even Cynthia goes in with the assist, which is why, like, you need these veteran women in the room. Because Cynthia went in right away and said, listen, Kenya hired my ex for something that she was shooting, but she talked to me first and asked me if it was okay for me to do it. And that's the respect that as a sisterhood we should have with each other. And so do you guys think that Drew was deliberately doing this for a storyline, or like did she really just drop the ball with not letting Porsha know?
I think a mix of both with Drew. I think that Drew, like you said, Xavier, she is a stunt queen. I think that she knows that this would garner attention. It takes the heat off of like what was going on between her and Ty, Mimi from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta's ex.
Yeah.
Right? I think that it diverts attention,
Black.
right? And I think that on the other hand, I think she dropped the ball because she was afraid to just say, hey, I am working with him. I know how this might look. I know you might be upset. So I think it's a mix of both. Storyline, drama, in the blogs, headlines, attention, money, notoriety, storyline, and she did drop the ball.
Some might say she's just working.
My thing about the working thing, and again, no shade to my girl Drew, but like, you not signed to no big like record label. There's no timeline. Nobody is rushed. Nobody is pounding at their door for no Drew Sidora.
It's Dennis, child.
So yeah, you couldn't get in contact with Porsha, but like, being that it was not urgent like that, like, you could have waited until you saw Porsha. You were gonna see her eventually. You should have waited before you got in the studio and was working with Dennis. Dennis don't even be doing music for real. It looked crazy. And I'm glad Kenya and Cynthia was like very upfront with her and very straightforward. Like, girl, no, you sound crazy.
You sound crazy. Like, let's keep it a bug for a second. That was a good scene though. That was a good scene.
Yeah.
Shamea's we were able to see a little bit about Shamea's family life. At home, Shamea was spending some time with her sisters, who have been her support system while dealing with her daughter Shaya's health issues. And she has even some more medical procedures that she's getting ready for. And Shamea's kind of just worried, like, do I have enough love to give? While also kind of like worried about having another child for her husband and feeling the pressure, saying that, listen, like, this man has given me this lifestyle. If he wants a child, like, that's what I need to give him. Shamea's personal story is also very deep this season.
Mm-hmm.
I am very impressed with Shamea. Like we've known her for a long time, and she's kind of been a sweetheart, but she has a lot of personal story. She has the glitz and the glams that we love, and she's kind of like willing to share it. And also, I can see why she's the glue of this group. Like you can kind of see that big sister vibe that she has. But she's dealing with a lot of situations with her family, specifically the pressure of giving her husband another child. What do you guys think about this? Some people on Twitter were having a problem with that. They were saying that it was kind of like abusive a little bit, even from the husband, to put all of that pressure on her to have a child, because in one of the previews, he was like, well, like, I need to have a child, and like if not, we need to like figure something else out, but like I need to have a child, basically. And people kind of like didn't like that from him. What do you guys think about that, Brooke?
So I said in my recap, it's like a layered thing. I don't want to spend so much time on this, but I feel bad for Shamea. Personally, if I were in that boat, it would just be, look, we have 2 beautiful daughters. The shop is closed. Personally, as a woman, I could not imagine, like, that's so much on her body. And she said the IVF, she's done 7 rounds of IVF. You know, the estrogen levels spiked so high, she was due for a stroke and blood clots. It's like, you know, and you
It's
don't.
a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot on her emotionally, physically. She even says, you know, her daughter says, Mommy, I don't want you in the hospital. Why doesn't Daddy go to the hospital? Her daughter's low-key saying, Mom, I don't want you to not be well. I want you to be here with me.
Right.
Personally, again, you know, just my opinion. I don't want to be disrespectful or talk out of turn, but I just feel like, Shamea, you have 2 beautiful daughters. If I were you, that would be it. I'm not. It's too much.
It's a lot of like critical things to think about. Xavier?
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with Brooke. I mean, if Shamea was my homegirl, I would be like, and if she asked me for my opinion, my advice, I would say the same thing. I'd be like, listen, it's a lot on your body. It's a lot mentally, emotionally, and honestly, it's kind of, it's, you know, as your husband should understand that, like, especially with like just knowing about like childbirth and Black women and the medicine, like at hospitals, the mortality rates aren't the same. Like all those things come into play. That he should be like, you know what? Thank you for giving me these 2 beautiful girls.
Right.
Let's stop here. You know, like I do like going with other options. Like she's saying she wants to do surrogacy or like that. Okay, now that makes sense. But like having her actually go through that, you know, that process again, I don't think it would be a good idea.
I agree. And I was listening to my friend's Chase Brown's No Chaser TV. He was recapping this episode, and he was saying like also like let's encourage like as Black people adopting Black children, and especially when you're in a predicament where you can put someone in generational wealth, like let's not, if you cannot have a baby genetically, like let's just not stop it there. There's other people that you can still provide that same service and change your life at the same time. You know. Anyways, shout out to Shamea, praying for her kids and praying for her to figure it out and get some peace in that situation. Well, moving on to another marriage that it's this one, I'm like, ooh, I don't know how to feel. Angela and Charles Oakley.
Ooh wee.
Angela meets Charles at their investment property. They were living together. They took the elevator together. He asked for her number. She recounts marital struggles with Charles, including his infamous 2017 incident where he was banned from MSG after an altercation with the Knicks owner. We were newly married and suddenly we weren't even living together. I had to figure out how to navigate that. There seems to be, am I taking this right? Like, did he have a child on her?
Yes.
Okay. Because they were not together for a period, and I guess that's when it happened. She says it so smoothly, like she knew exactly what she was going to say. She prepared for this moment. She knew she was going to have to explain this on camera, and she had it down packed to the T. The way she said it was so straight and smooth. I said, "Ooh, she prepared this one." Therapy has played a huge role in their reconciliation, but it comes at a hefty price. $1,200 a month, according to her. But she says it's worth every penny. What do you guys think about the Oakleys?
A mess. I think it's a mess.
I'm so interested, though. I'm like entertained.
A hot mess. Angela gives me a little bit of pick-me vibes with her husband. It's just like she wants him by any cost. Because think about it. The first story she said in last week's episode was they met at a party in Chicago and then they exchanged numbers. He ghosted her for 10 years. Now she's telling everybody, oh, yeah, we were living in the same complex and he saw me and it's like, okay, girl, which one is the real story, right? Then we find out they're separated, early into their marriage. And then he has a baby on her. And then you find out that she was the one who was telling Wendy Williams to stay with Kevin when he had that baby on her. And she said, Wendy, stay with him because I stayed with Charles when he had a baby on me. So, yeah, it's some pick-me stuff with Angela. She kind of gives me a piece of a man is better than no man at all.
Honey, Brooke actually going to come with the receipts, okay?
Listen... He looks at her like he's annoyed with her. Every time he talks to her, he doesn't talk to her with love. What husband talks to his wife like that?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, I'm so sorry to Angela, but I kind of saw that too. Like, it was very dry, very direct, and I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt in the sense that, like, sometimes these men don't know how to perform on camera, but honestly, like, not knowing how to perform on camera and mistreating your wife is two different things to me. Like, I don't know how that's where you guys like go. Like,
yeah,
I don't get that. Xavier, what are your thoughts on the Oakleys?
Let me tell you something. Charles would not last a day with me because he'd be out of there. Like, okay,
I don't like the tone.
It's the tone. It's the tone. It's the tone. And you know what? I get it. Some couples, they like that banter. And you know what? Angela gives me that too. She gives me, like, in the beginning, it was banter. I like banter too. But it gets to a point where it's like too much banter. And you're like, okay, do you even like me? Because the way he wouldn't put in that house and was just grumpy, like, oh my God, get out of here with that negative. I'm already stressed. I gotta sell these,
like, girl,
houses, and you coming over here with this nasty, dry energy. Please get out of my face. I don't like it.
Especially when the camera's around.
Especially when the camera's around. And you know what? I agree with Brooke. Like, it gives little pick-me vibes. So I like Angela when she was with Kenya and Cynthia in the earlier scene. I liked her then. I liked her at the Kelly's party. But when she's with Charles, she gets on my nerves.
Yes.
But he really gets on my nerves. So I just wanted that on the record. I'm not a fan of Charles Oakley.
No, the jury is still out. I don't even think the jury is out. We don't like him.
Yeah.
And he looks older than 61. I'm like, you all those years. You were working out all the time. Can you keep yourself up, please? He looks like he's 75.
Making all that noise in the kitchen while we're trying to film.
Exactly.
Damn. Another person that is in the rocks. Drew Sidora meets her attorney and drops a bombshell. Ralph's lawyer didn't even show up to their last court date, so Ralph had to cross-examine her himself. The biggest legal battle, getting Ralph out of the house and forcing him to disclose his financial records, which Drew has not been successful. He's a serial cheater, he's taking money from my account, and he's even tracked my phone. These are some of the things that Drew is alleging. The judge is unsealing their divorce file, meaning all of Ralph's dirty laundry is about to be aired out, but also hers. And Ralph says that there's a lot of things that the people don't know about Drew.
Please.
Yeah.
He's such a liar.
I was gonna ask for your thoughts on this Drew and Ralph debacle. Yeah, where do you start, right?
I just want to make it clear, I am Team Drew Sidora on this. Now, do I think they both was in their in their line to each other at times? Sure, of course, whatever.
Let's keep it a buck.
Ralph is just. I'm still stressed about him. Where was he at that last time when he was in Florida? He was like kind of like not talking to Drew while he was out of town. So like, it was at that point. I don't even know. There's nothing you could tell me because like you're just ain't that guy. Like I hope Drew can get away from you. They sell that house. You get out of that basement. You need to go find your own apartment, or not.
He says that the reason why he's still in the basement is because if he leaves the house, then he can only see his children one day out of the week. But if he stays in the house, then he can see his children every day, and that he is a dedicated father, and that no one is gonna pressure him to not being a good father. And black fathers. Hashtag.
Stop. Just stop. That man is doing that because he's broke. He can't go anywhere else. What does he do for a living? How does he make his money?
Why can't we disclose the financial records?
Because all his money is from Drew. That's why he's taking money out of her account.
Exactly.
That's the real reason why. And he's too embarrassed to say that. He's been a leech and a loser for years. And she propped him up to make him feel like, he's a man doing it, and he's doing absolutely nothing. That's why he can't move out of that house, because he's broke.
Clock it.
Okay.
And that's what a lot of people feel. Like, honestly, they feel like Ralph needs to get it together. He has announced that he's having his own show on YouTube where he's going to be, I guess, recapping the Real Housewives of Atlanta or talking about the things that Drew is talking about him on the show.
We don't care about Ralph. We don't care. I'm so sorry.
Like, no shade. We call Drew a liar, and we come crazy at Drew for lying every time, and almost every 99% of the time when she's on camera. But when it comes to Drew versus Ralph, it's gonna be Drew.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No.
So, no doubt about that.
Yeah,
I just don't like to see her losing legal battles to Ralph. And also, like, let me just talk about these Atlanta attorneys. Like, they are very animated. Like, I'm sorry.
I love her.
I like her a lot. I like the lawyer.
Oh my God! These lawyers were cackling. I'm like, okay, they're definitely putting on for the camera. But I'm just like, they were just...
Yo, when she was in the she was going through the thing, she was like... And yeah, he's been texting other women. He's cheating. He's doing this. I said, girl, you might be in good hands right now because she's not playing. She don't play around with you, Drew. So,
and even Ralph's lawyer, she was like, yeah, because they're not gonna get us. So I'm like, girl, stop twitching your neck. Like, this is a law office. Anyway,
the quorum.
So Porsha and her mom are bonding. Porsha gets a massage with her mom, Miss Diane, and reflects on her divorce, feeling abandoned by Simon's family. She says, and I quote, "I've reached out to his family in Benin, which is the tribe that he's from, and they basically told me let the legal process play out and that I was on my own." Now, Porsha, why would you reach out to Simon's family? Just because you got in a couple custom dresses in your Nigerian wedding, you really thought that his family was somehow going to, like, mind you, this is his fifth marriage. So you're just, no shade, because I love you down, but you're just another wife to this family.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that you kind of like, sometimes we hurt ourselves when we look for certain things, and I think that was kind of like a thing right there. She brings up the drama with Shamea, but Ms. Diane gives her some classic mom wisdom, says you got to watch the dog that brings the bone. And I thought that was very interesting to come from Ms. Diane, because Shamea and Porsha have known each other since they were, in high school?
Yeah.
And they are best friends. And no shade, but your mom that knows your friends She knows them just like you know them. So if she's throwing shade, your mom has never liked that friend. No shade.
Yeah.
But it's a testament to how Miss Diane is just as delusional as Porsha, and how there's no ownership at all. Because sometimes if you
Yes.
say you're wrong, I feel, like for you to say that, and this is not a situation where Shamea is the jealous friend who's
Right.
to get Porsha. That's not what this is. So don't make it like that, Miss Diane. Also, where were you to check your daughter when she tried to fight her baby's father's mother on national TV on that spinoff? Where was that accountability? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how she didn't even show up to Shamea's wedding. She was talking about, the flight's too long and my legs get tired and the flights are too expensive. The flights are too expensive, but yet you travel on Delta One. A Delta One ticket is a good $7,000, so you can afford Delta One, but you can't afford to see your friend at her wedding in Africa? Stop. Miss Diane, let's talk about all that. Don't act like Shamea is jealous of Porsha. That's not what this is. And Shamea had Porsha's back. She said to Brit and Kelli, don't talk about my friend like that. Say it to her face. That's not what happened. You guys don't know the real story. That's what she said. That's what a good friend does. So for her to act like, why is she doing that? Why is she behind your back saying that to people? Shamea's not at fault here. Your daughter is. Talk to your daughter.
I agree. Xavier?
Once again, I'm on Team Brooke because I think that Miss Diane, like, she was definitely just very quick to be like,
Very
throw me under.
interesting.
She was very be like, but you know what? She gives that with Porsha.
Yes.
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna fault her, but I won't fault her too much because I get it. I understand. Porsha is her baby. Like, she don't play around with her. So Shamea did what? Oh yeah, I never even really liked her. This is what it was given. Very that vibes. And I just hope Porsha doesn't. I think I hope that she has grown enough now that, like, she takes that with a grain of salt. Because, like, yes, I'm just saying. First of all, me and Porsha, shout out to cancers. We're both cancer baddies. Like, family is everything to us. Like, we are gonna listen to our moms, our parents, and things like that. But you definitely have to take it with a grain of salt because when you have that tight connection, sometimes it's not always coming out with your best interest. Even if they think that I'm giving you some really, really good advice, Porsha, Shamea,
Right.
even on a different level than your mom. You know what I'm saying? So I hope she doesn't take that, and I hope it, just works out for the best for them. Lately, I've been seeing Porsha in interviews, and it seems like she's been saying really good things about Shamea. So I'm hoping.
Well, no. If you
I've
actually,
only seen a couple.
this is why you need to follow the reality rundown.
Yeah.
Because if you follow, you'll see that Porsha and Shamea are not really in a good spot right now. Someone even pressed her about why she didn't post Shamea's song when it came out like the other women did. And Porsha said that, well, she didn't send it to me like she did the other girls. And to me, that's kind of like, girl, we all have Apple Music.
Mm-hmm.
When my friend tells me post my podcast or reshare this, it's not like they have to send me the elements and the assets ready to post with a preferred caption. Like, this is not a deal. Come on now. Like, if your friend is asking you to post something, you go on Apple Music, you type Shamea, and you click share. So to me, that was a little weird. Candy even confirmed on her Amazon Live that they're not in a good place and that they're kind of doing that thing where, like, the drama starts to, like, take over the reality, and then people are seeing what the others are saying in confessionals and interviews and that. And no shade, we knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Let's hope they survive it. It's my only thing. Like,
yeah,
I really do hope they survive it and they don't let this show create something bigger than what it should be in their actual friendship.
Yeah, I agree. I hope the same. Look, Porsha, I tried to help you out, girl, but they came and. No, I agree.
Love you, P.
Yeah, love you, P. No, I feel the same way. I hope they can survive it. I do think that, like, Porsha in particular has like a lot going on with the divorce and things. Like, not to say that's an excuse, but we all know people when they go through things, it just shows up in different ways. Shamea has her own thing going on, so I really hope they can come together and kind of like just be like, hey, we both going through some shit. Let's like, let's this is the time we need to be tighter than ever, to be honest. But we'll see what Porsha does, because she's the
Right. So,
she's the
moving into the last scene of the night, we have Kelly's Beaumont event, and all of the ladies arrive. It is a beautiful event. She shut the store down. This is what I like. Honestly,
Yes.
like, Kelly might not have a big house, honey, but she has big events. She gave her daughter 17 bags for her 17th birthday. To me, that was everything. Do it again. So her shutting down Beaumont and having such a classy party, I thought it was everything to me. I thought that was what we were gonna get from Marlo. No shade. Anyways, the ladies arrive already talking mess about Angela. Going in during her confessionals, even pitching her nose. Angela opens up about her nose and how she had to get some like modifications because she thought that it was too puffy, and then she got some injections. Anyways, I feel like I still don't know which one is her face. Every confessional looks different. In scene looks different. So I'm kind of like waiting for the later season when they film like the last set of confessionals for me to actually know how it is that Angela looks. Or actually watch What Happens Live, because she was just on it. Let's go with that one. But the big thing about this event was the Angela and Shamea showdown. Angela approaches Shamea to talk, but it quickly turns into a clapback battle. I came here to meet Angela, not Drew's representative. Shamea snaps. Angela throws it right back. You're a mean girl, Shamina. I'm sorry. Girl, I love a one-liner. I love that. If you are a good housewife, you can come up with a good one. When she said Shamina, I was cackling. The insults escalate. Shamea calls Angela LaToya Jackson and fires back. Can someone get your nose out of Portia's ass? Kenya sipped her drink again. The nose comment? Woo, girl. Which is why we need those Kenya confessionals. At least one resolution. Shamea apologizes to Drew for embarrassing her and encourages her to talk to Porsha. First, Drew, Shamea and Angela. Thoughts. Who won this? Who do you say won this battle? This first battle?
Shamea. I thought Shamea did.
I think it was like a draw. I thought they were giving it to each other. I don't feel like no one comeback really had me like. Each one had me floored. I was like, okay, this is quick. This is like a game of tennis.
You know what it gave to me? It gave very much newcomer. Sometimes when you're a newcomer, you really don't know how to stand in that heat to heat, battle that Kenya and the Phaedras and the Ninis can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they can go at it for 10 minutes. We saw Nene and Claudia Jordan in Puerto Rico. Like, that was a 2-hour dinner. You know what I'm saying? Just sparring. So I think some of the girls are not used to that, which is sometimes what the show kind of requires and what they love. So I think we kind of saw Shamea trying to step away because, girl, like, I don't know what I'm going to say right now. And I don't want it to get too crazy because reading takes a lot of thinking. Like, you really have to be a master. So, you know what? A B+ to the new girls carrying the episode. No shade.
Yeah, they definitely did.
I think Angela is annoying me a little bit, only because I'm not trying to be so hard on Angela, but she's just kind of wearing me thin because you're low-key Drew's mouthpiece, but you're getting on Shamea for being Portia's mouthpiece. Like, how does that work?
Like, we all have a mouthpiece.
you know, so it's like, I don't know. I kind of can't really see it for her in this argument because you're saying that, you know, she's Flavor Flav because she's Porsha's hype man, but it's like, you know, you're Drew's hype man. So what are you really saying here? It's like this read's not landing, right? Like, I don't really know, Angela, because you're doing the most over Drew. So I don't
Right.
give you that. I can't give you the point. Like, I can't. Shamea takes it for me. Like, I don't know.
I will say, Angela was funny as hell. I'm sorry, that Shamea. Like,
Yeah.
and then she carried it to Watch What Happens Live too. She kept calling her Shamea on air. Like, I'm sorry, it was hilarious. Now, Shamea, go ahead and get a bunch of Shamea t-shirts, get a
Okay.
bunch of Shamea hats. You know,
And you know she will.
and you know she will. She got the coin to produce it by
This
tomorrow
morning.
morning.
And she
Yes.
will wear it.
Okay. Well,
But
Go ahead,
you had said something funny about Angela's faces because when they had earlier at the studio, y'all, I swear Yolanda Adams was with them at first. I was looking at like,
Yes, yes.
is this Angela? Or I'm like literally waiting for them to talk. I'm like, oh, okay, this is Angela, but she kind of just favors her anyway. But in that scene in particular, she looked smack like
Yeah.
Yolanda Adams. I was like, oh girl. So yeah,
Angela be definitely giving a lot of faces.
Yes,
Yeah.
she does.
No shade. No shade to Miss
a master
Thing.
disguise, girl.
Beautiful girl, beautiful gowns, beautiful
No,
gowns,
literally.
beautiful gowns. Well, messy friendships, business betrayals, and divorce drama. This episode had it all. Will Drew and Porsha actually talk? Can Angela and Shamea move past the nose drama? Stay tuned for next week's recap. Don't forget to subscribe to Reality right after. Follow us on social media for everything RHOA this season. And make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And if you are listening on wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure you subscribe. And Xavier, where can I find you? Tell us what we need to know about you.
Yeah, you can find me on all the social networks, the Twitters, the Instagrams, the Threads, at Hood Opulence. It's the same across the board.
And that is a good follow, I will say. That
Yes.
is a really good
you.
follow. So go ahead, castmates. What about you? I don't even think you need an introduction, but go ahead, bro.
You guys can find me on YouTube, the Brooke Ashley, running my mouth about these housewives. We have a good old time, a good old little key over there.
Love
you know,
it.
I be whacking the girls sometimes. You can catch me on Twitter, running my mouth there, having a good old time at the Brooke Ash. Instagram, the Brooke Ashley _ TikTok, the Brooke Ashley 1. Yeah, I'm everywhere under the Brooke Ashley. So yes,
Okay,
fine.
the Brooke Ashley.
Yes.
The Brooke Ashley.
Ashley.
Honey, this is a brand. That's
Okay.
another good follow. Castmates, if you love the show, drop a review. See y'all next time for another dose of reality right after. Bye.
Bye.